Hello family, how are we all doing? I trust that we are all well. My apologies for the silence. I have been dealing with family issues, but now I am back. All right. So let's do this. When you get time, go on your Google search bar and type Deriv Trading View. Right. When you've typed Deriv Trading View, it will open this page for you, where it will have your V25 over there. Okay, so it's going to have volatility 25 shown over there, and then this thing here that says 24H is to show that this is the 24-hour time frame. Meaning what? It means that each and every candle here that you see is representing a 24-hour period. Okay, then here, this one is the shortcut for the symbol. So when we now want to search for a different pair, let me just show you. When we now want to search for a different pair, what we will do is we will click there, okay, on the search thing. Then it will give us this R25 highlighted. So what do? We backspace on it, okay. Then you make sure that you've selected derived, because there's commodities here, which are these ones, the platinums, the golds, and all of that, the stock indices. So if you want to just check it out, just to analyze and see what's happening there, feel free to just analyze there, okay. But for now, we come here where it says derived, okay. And then we are going to, which page should I use? Now I wish I was on Zoom so that people could vote. All right, no worries. Let's use Boom 500. Okay, which is a great pair right now because it's showing us one or two things that we learned last time. Okay, so now that we are here, right? So you can use so here we are being shown the 24-hour time frame. Remember what I said, 24 hours, which is showing us what is happening within the different days. Okay, so if you want, you then click on that 24-hour symbol at the top there. Then you go into your 8 hour or into your 4 hours, right? So what we are doing when we move from 24 hours down into the lower time frames, we are doing what is called top-down analysis, right? Where you first check out what is happening on the higher time frame, which in this case is our 24-hour time frame. Then you check out what's happening on the lower time frame and on all of that, because you currently won't be taking your entries from the 24-hour time frame unless if you finally grow in your trading journey and you decide that that's your lowest time frame, because there's some traders that actually prefer to do that, right? So I would move from my 24-hour time frame down to my 4-hour time frame to see what is going on there. I think for now, let me show you how to use it, so that after I do the video teaching on support and resistance, you can use it, okay? Otherwise, at this point, honestly, it is not even going to make any sense to you. But I can also mix it all up in here, okay? So let's see what is happening here. On our 4-hour time frame, we have had we've been on a downtrend. Clearly the market has been going down, then now we are going to introduce our topic. So here we have a support and a resistance. Okay, so a resistance, I'm going to use the tool of the rectangle here. Usually we mark the wicks. Okay, so this zone here has proven to be a strong resistance. A resistance usually, let me just spell it out. This one here, it's our resistance. A resistance is let me just type it out first, then I explain. A resistance acts as a ceiling. Okay, it acts as a ceiling where price cannot break above. Okay, so the price tries to break. We can see here our price tried to break here. Our ceiling refused, resistance refused. Here it refused. There on third touch there, it refused, and price got pushed back down. Okay, then here we came back down here where we have this zone here. So here you select your rectangle tool, then you come here and you mark. You see for here we have a support. We had a support actually, because I'd rather just mark this zone like this. It's going to help me explain a lot. This zone was a strong support. Let me color it yellow. Or at least some shade of yellow. I wanted it to be yellow and it came out. I don't even know what color that is, but yellow. Okay. So here's our zone. We are saying this zone was a pretty good support. Okay, something like that. So this zone was a support here. Okay, it was acting as a support here, from here to here. And okay, until it got broken here. Then when it was broken here, it was retested here, right? And then the market went down from there. So this zone here is not called a resistance or a support anymore, but it is a zone that can act as a resistance or a support. So what do we call this zone? We call it a flip zone. Okay, we are going to call it a flip zone. A flip zone where market can either go up or down. Okay, so this one here is our flip zone. Sorry, I've highlighted the wrong place. Okay, so that one is our flip zone. All right, so as we can see here, we now have a flip zone, right? Meaning, what do we have as our support or as our floor? Remember, if there's a resistance, there has to be a support, right? There has to be a level where if ever price is being pushed down, it is being pushed down towards a certain level. okay, and if it's being pushed up, it has to be pushed down towards a certain level. So this one here is our support zone. Our support acts as a floor. Let me just perfect this. I need the wick, you see, from the wick here. Like this to the wick over there. Alright, and then let's change the color. So these things have got different colors. What color can we make our support? Let's make it blue. So this one is our support. Take the text tool, come here, we type out support. Support, right, acts as a floor. Where price cannot go beneath, okay? So price cannot break and go beneath this zone here. So what are we saying? I want us to just use this example to explain resistance and support, okay? And also to understand what happens at a flip zone. All right. So with resistance as what has happened here, this resistance is strong because it was touched 3 times, but it was not broken. 3 times price tried to go above this level, and 3 times price was pushed down, okay? And then here, when we come here now, we know that we first had a support here. So this one here was a strong support. So what we can say was happening between this resistance and support at this time here was a consolidation, okay? So here is what we call a consolidation. We had what we call a consolidation. Let me just type it out here. Let me type here, okay? Consolidation. So the market here was consolidating, where it was ranging between certain price levels, hitting that high and coming back to this low, hitting that high and coming back to this low, hitting that high and coming back down to this low, right? Until this point here where we saw our support being broken and being turned into a flip zone, okay? That's when price came down here to what we now have as our current support, okay? So when it came here, it tried to go down, but it could not go down. So what does this mean? It means this level here is a support. We can say this one is a strong support, okay? Then price got pushed up, okay? But remember our flip zone, this flip zone on this side. So on this side, on the right side right now, where we currently are now, our flip zone is now here acted as a resistance here at this point, but here it acted as a support on the left side, okay? Then right now a decision is yet to be made because price is still going up. It is still trying to break this part here. Price is currently trying to break. So what happens here? I wanted to show it to you live, okay? To say this is what will be happening. So you need to wait. because in this flip zone area here, if you want to see what's happening and you want to find an entry, you then go down into a lower time frame, right? But already here we have what we call a trend line. Okay, a trend line acts more as a support, right? So can I just introduce trend lines a little bit that would make us a bit biased? Let's say we are here right now, we are in boom 500 and we want to trade, we want to take an entry, right? What do? We come here, we select our trend line tool, come down here, and there we go, we have our trend line. Let me just fix it, let me perfect it, sorry, because our trend line has to touch the what? The wick of the candles. Okay, so this trend line here, because remember now we are now going to start to marry the things that we've been learning. Remember, we learned on higher highs and higher lows, right? So currently the side that we are seeing, what are we seeing right now? We are seeing that here there is a higher low, just put it there, higher low, okay, we have a higher low here, there, okay, we have another higher low here, let me put it into capitals, there, okay, then here we have a higher high. So when you find yourself practicing this, I just want you people to take time to go to your charts and to practice. Sorry, I was supposed to say high there. Apologies, that's a typing error. Let me just fix it. It's supposed to be higher high. Now it's in italics, isn't it? For its own personal reasons. Okay. Then here I've also got another higher high. So you select your text tool. I want to add my text here. Higher high. There we go. So I hope we are clear, okay? And then here there's a higher low, so I just have to highlight it so that we are all clear on what is happening here. Higher low. Okay. So market structure is now coming in to tell us, right? And now we have our support, we have our resistance, and our price is at a flip zone. What does this mean? It means if we watch for our candles, remember what we learned concerning our candles, right? We watch out for our candles. When we watch out for our candles, this is what happens. I want you to see what happened here at this support. Remember, I also told you to go and do more research after showing you on candles. Can you see that here at this point here, where we have our first high low, we had a hammer. Then afterwards, after the hammer, we had an engulfing candle at a support. So we had a hammer, right, at a support, which meant that this hammer was actually telling us that price was probably going to push up. And then this green candle here came and supported that. Okay? Then what did price do? Price went up all the way to our flip zone. Okay? Where it created a higher high. Right? And then price from the flip zone, which has now turned into a resistance currently, has come back down. Okay? So price has now come back down here and onto what? Onto our trend line. Okay? Onto our trend line, price has come. And now what has price done? Price has decided to go back up after creating this higher low. Okay? To go and create a higher high, right? So now we are very interested in what will happen here. So what do? We go to our 4-hour time frame, right? Where we want to find out what is happening. We really want to know what is happening when we get there to 15-minute time frame. But we can just pass by our 1-hour time frame to see. Okay? So I want you to start to practice analyzing on this basic level to say, okay, so what is happening? Now let's see with our 1-hour time frame, what is happening in the zone that we've marked out. Can we see what's happening here? Okay, so we'll talk because there's a lot that's happening here. It is such a beautiful area. It is such a beautiful area. Okay. So what's happening here is we are now waiting to see whether price closes below the flip zone or above the flip zone. Okay. Then if price closes below the flip zone, giving a confirmation that it is going down, we will probably take the trade all the way to, first of all, all the way to the trend line, first of all. So first we will take the trade to here. Let me just show you. Okay, I'm on the wrong time frame because our entry time frame is 15 minutes. So according to 15-minute time frame, this is what is currently playing out. Okay, so what are we watching out for here? On 15-minute time frame, once we see price closing below our flip zone, we know that we are going to come and smile. Sorry about that. We are going to either move down here, okay, and take profit there, or price will come through and actually break this trend line. If price breaks this trend line and comes back to test it, then we can take our trade all the way to our support, right? But for now, we still want to see what price will do. If price decides to close above, it means we wait for price to come back here and test. Once it has tested, we take this trade to somewhere here, which is our previous high, right? If it breaks the previous high, then we can probably ride it all the way there, okay? All the way to our resistance zone. So please do feel free to ask any questions, and I think I've tried to show people how to use the tools and all of that. So do practice your analysis. Remember, this side is for analyzing, so you get to analyze this side so that you can see exactly what is happening and you have a rough picture of what is going on. Not a rough picture, but a clear picture of what is going on. Once you have that clear picture of what is happening here, then you can go and take your entries, okay? So on your MT5, this side we don't place trades, but we get a picture of what is going on. All right, so I think from just this, let's try to digest this, and if we have any questions or anything, I will definitely be starting to introduce more and more. As we can see, I just touched on a trend line a little bit, okay? I didn't go deeper into it because it wasn't the topic, but I just had to add on to say there's actually a concept of trend lines. So those of us who like to do research beforehand, it's also okay for you to go and do your research concerning trend lines so that when the next video comes, you get to know what to do, okay? So thank you so much. Have a blessed day.